0. Understanding Esther, Mega Themes. A. The Bible book introductions are divided into 4 parts: Overview, Vital Statistics, Blueprint, Mega Themes, for easy to understand. 1. Mega Themes. At 1. Theme, God's Sovereignty. A. Explanation. I. The book of Esther tells of the circumstances that were essential to the survival of God's people in Persia. These circumstances were not the result of chance, but of God's grand design. God is sovereignty over every area of life. B. Importance. I. With God in charge, we can take courage. He can guide us through the circumstances we face in our lives. We should expect God to display His power in carrying out His will. As we unite our life's purpose to God's purpose, we benefit from His sovereign care. At 2. Theme, Racial Hatred. A. Explanation. I. The Jews in Persia had been a minority since their deportation from Judah 100 years earlier. Haman was a descendant of King Agag, an enemy of the Jews. Lust for power and pride drove Haman to hate Mordecai, Esther's cousin. Haman convinced the king to kill all the Jews. B. Importance. I. Racial hatred is always sinful. We must never condone it in any form. Every person on earth has intrinsic worth because God created mankind in His image. Therefore, God's people must stand against racism whenever and wherever it occurs. At 3. Theme, Deliverance. A. Explanation. I. February 28th, the Jews celebrate the Feast of Purim, which symbolizes God's deliverance. Purim means lots, such as those used by Haman to set the date for the extermination of all Jews from Persia. But God overruled, using Queen Esther to intercede on behalf of the Jews. B. Importance. I. Because God is in control of history, He is never frustrated by any turn of events or action of man. He is able to save us from the evil of this world and deliver us from sins and death. Because we trust God, we are not to fear what people may do to us. Instead, we are to be confident in God's control. At 4. Theme, Action. A. Explanation. I. Faced with death, Esther and Mordecai set aside their own fear and took action. Esther risked her life by asking King Ahasuerus to save the Jews. They were not paralyzed by fear. B. Importance. I. When outnumbered and powerless, it is natural for us to feel helpless. Esther and Mordecai resisted this temptation and acted with courage. It is not enough to know that God is in control, we must act with self-sacrifice and courage to follow God's guidance. At 5. Theme, Wisdom. A. Explanation. I. The Jews were a minority in a world hostile to them. It took great wisdom for Mordecai to survive. Serving as a faithful official of the king, Mordecai took steps to understand and work with the Persian law. Yet he did not compromise his integrity. B. Importance. I. It takes a great wisdom to survive in a non-believing world. In a setting which is for the most part hostile to Christianity, we can demonstrate wisdom by giving respect to what is true and good and by humbly standing against what is wrong.